Hey pillars, and welcome to a new tech cycling video. Today I saw something pretty interesting and I think I'm pretty late to it, but it is worth checking out because it is quite interesting, quite unique, and just something that got me asking, do we actually need this in cycling? Well, with everything changing in the cycling industry in terms of just a lot of new tech coming out to try to reinvent things that maybe don't need reinventing, we have a new integrated handlebar that is a mix of tech and seems kind of space agey in the sense of something futuristic that looks cool, but from a realistic practicality standpoint is pretty unnecessary in my opinion. But we will take a look at it, and it's this brand called Flight Bikes. We have their Instagram page right now on screen, and they have released some early promo of the handlebars. So I do have some videos of that. So first we'll actually take a look of the videos, and then from there we'll actually look at the specs. So first thing that we see on screen right now is basically they're trying to show it's a mix of basically getting rid of a light, the GPS unit, head unit, a bell, and their system has everything integrated in a sleek handlebar. We have another video right now which is more of a 3D render. And you can see it here. One second, let me turn off the audio. And you can see that it says intuitive control, navigate menus without taking hands off the bar, road legal lighting, integrated high low beam. So in the front of the handlebar, there's a light as well. Made in Germany, precision engineer quality. It seems to be all carbon fiber. It says customizable touch screen, and you can see on screen we have GPS, time, kilometers, gear, elevation, cadence, power, wind, weather, average speed, and then what is that? Oh, okay, Spotify. And then also it said works flawlessly in rain and with sweat. Seamless connectivity, syncs with your smartphone and all your sensors. Part 2 follows, and then we'll watch the last video of the promo that they have on screen. Flight deck, the future of cycling starts now. And I have a lot of opinions on this, so I find this, it's a pretty cool mock-up of what we get to see on screen, but I obviously have my opinion on what I think about this. So we're gonna jump into it right now. So I'm on the website, and just from the start, I'll say, basically, it comes off as solving something that doesn't necessarily need solving. I've always thought about this when I got into cycling, and once handlebars, I remember around like 2016, 2017, were getting more flat. So riders were resting their wrists to get more aero, and the shape of handlebars changed from the traditional cylinder that we have to more flat style. And I was always curious of like, why couldn't you just integrate it all together? Now, from a practicality standpoint, there's a lot of things that just are bound to happen, and having firsthand experience in the cycling industry with, let's say, recalls and just the practicality of having electronics in the handlebar, it kind of is a disaster waiting to happen. If you know anything from, DI2 or electronic group sets, the amount of stuff that would sometimes go wrong or customers would have a hard time, figuring out. I think this product is going to be so niche. It's like, who is buying this? Because when you think of it, a handlebar has a lot of aspects that could just go wrong with it. I would say the first thing is just even the transportation aspect where, at least with, a head unit, like the one I have on my bike, which is a Garmin 1030, I'm just giving you, this is full, like my initial opinions and thoughts. So I didn't pre-think of my opinions. But the first thing I could think of is when you're traveling, something like a handlebar, potentially, especially with it being carbon, can break. So if your handlebar breaks, the whole unit's just garbage at that point. Where a Garmin head unit, I travel, I take that out of the bike box actually, even though you could keep it in the bike box or the bike bag. But like right there, my head unit's safe. So we'll look at the price, because the price is pretty crazy as well. So you can see right here, it goes on sale, and they're doing early bird. So I guess they're in crowdfunding stage. But now taking a look at the prices we have right here. So we have the early bird special, which is 1,600 euros, around 1,600 USD. We have the flight deck fan edition, which is 1,900 euros. And then we have the early bird tailor-made 3,299 euros. So we're going to take a look at the key features. Obviously, I don't want this to just be all me just yapping about my opinion, but I just want to see what they are claiming, and then I can give my opinion. So it says developed and produced in Germany. Okay. Connectivity, GPS, all the standard ANT plus, Wi-Fi, 5G, 30-hour battery life. So you will have to charge it. The light is approved with high and low beam. There's an own app that they're going to have, and they're claiming a weight of 800 grams, extremely light. Now it says flight deck early bird packages. It says early bird drops in 20 days. So availability is strictly limited. All packages in the first drop are only available in limited quantities. Every pre-order supports development and serves as a ticket to the Founder Circle, an exclusive community that directs access to the founders. You'll receive personal invitations to product surveys detailed in... Okay, so the Early Bird package are only available in Drop 1 until March 1st, 2025. As soon as the limited numbers of pieces is reached, the shop will close. So there's like a community around this as well. So pre-order, best price guarantee. I guess that was the initial price. And then there's even a gold package, which... I did see some of the prices, and they do come off as ludicrous. Why pre-order now? So they're just talking about Tech Pioneer, exclusive pricing, so save some money, be the first to have this weird handlebar. They have their goal in terms of how many orders they want to get. Mega competition after 5,000 orders. Exclusive mega competition worth 80,000 for all previous buyers as soon as 5,000 flight decks have been sold. So very dream bike. So they got some incentives. Some incentives like a holiday, the flight deck, and then a bike, I guess. Pre-order timelines, not enough yet. Shipping and taxes, customs and charge depending on location, risk and refund support. I guess these are the people that are designing it. I don't want to get too into that. And it's been obviously featured on a bunch of stuff. So very interesting, very interesting. The idea was in 2019. Patent was in 2021. I wonder why no one in the cycling industry has made a patent for this. Feasibility, business plan, concept design, marketing, 3D rendering, UI design. So just a bunch of prototyping phases. And they're saying early bird starts in 2025. And I think they're already riding with some test models just without the electronics or the brains inside the handlebars. Scale the team design free series developing. So like basically standard, product development for like a startup, premium pre-order, and then they're saying Q2 of 2026 is when it's going to be developed, when it's going to be released. Look at the product page. We're taking a look at the flight deck. 1,600 euros, as I mentioned before. Now in terms of sizes, these are all the sizes that they offer. 44 centimeter bars, gone and dusted. The finished gloss clear raw carbon. There's another matte clear raw carbon, and then a matte black finish. And you can see if we play this video here, what it looks like. Yeah, just super interesting. I have a lot of thoughts that I do want to share, but I just want to finish this. So flight deck is the world's first smart cockpit for your bike. 180 millimeter times 70 millimeter touch display offers enough space for all important data. I think they were trying to reach me to say good things. You no longer have to take your hands off the handlebars to switch between map view or driving data on your bike computer. Even that point right there, if you have Di2, you can, with the buttons, you can actually shift through the Garmin head unit. So I don't know how accurate that is. It's like I said at the beginning, it's like solving for something that doesn't necessarily need solving. Thanks to ANT Bluetooth, you can connect almost all sensors to your flight deck, which yet again, you can do with the standard cycling computer. Wi-Fi and 5G connection ensures, all normal. Be one of the first to experience the future of cycling with the flight deck pre-order. Not only to secure your device, but also exclusive benefits. Okay, interesting. This is all the geometry of the handlebars. So that's that. Wi-Fi, ANT, Bluetooth, smartphone notification, theft warning. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So there's definitely some interesting things about this that I will touch up on. I just want to show you guys all the specs. You can pay 50% deposit or pay in full. I just want to show you guys the different options here, which is super interesting. So it says there's this Calpe camp in Spain for 2,900 euros. That option, there's another one, ride it in the Dolomites for 3,300 euros. There's a flight deck founders circle, which we already touched up on, which is 10,000 euros. So there's all these like different programs. And then lifetime upgrade, which 100,000 euros, which makes absolutely no sense. Because for that price, you can do a lot of stuff with that money. You can maybe even start your own cycling startup for something that doesn't necessarily need to be solved. But we're going to take a look at these pictures. I just want to say, without like just roasting it, I think innovation is obviously cool. Obviously, I'm not anti-tech in some aspects, but this just feels like solving something that absolutely did not need to be solved. Even if you wanted to, increase the real estate on your handlebar, there's a very practical solution for that. It's called getting, those quad locks. Like if you type in quad lock, Chris Froome, I just want to show you guys what his handlebar, like I'm going to show this picture on screen. If you really wanted to increase your real estate for basically very cheap, you could literally get a quad lock or just like the actual mount, like from, AliExpress, and you could literally put your iPhone on top of your stem, and then on top of that have your Garmin head unit, and you could literally have everything that you need, because like the phone, you're already going to be checking your phone. It's not going to eliminate your phone. So I just think this is basically solving something that does not need to be solved, because like, is this going to be able to answer emails? Is this like, you're still going to have your phone. So if you need that big of real estate and you don't want your head unit, I'd rather just put my phone like Chris Froome does and have my head unit on top of that. So if you need to, do anything business related or for work, or, FaceTime call comes through and it's that important to you, I think the quad lock is a lot cheaper than 1,600 euros. I'm actually curious. Yeah, quad lock's like 59 euros, not even 40 euros for that. Even the one that's just 29 euros without the actual head unit piece of it. I'm looking at it on screen right now. It's like 29 euros. So, and you already have your phone. This is not eliminating the phone. So I really don't understand. Like, I just thought of that too. No one that I've seen has talked about it, where it's like, if you're that concerned about space, real estate on your bike, get a quad lock or get the mount, put your phone, and my phone's really big. Like my phone's, big size. So you can have that plus the Garmin 1030, which is already big, or a large head unit, and you have all the stats that you need. So I really don't see what this is generally solving. It's one of those things that like you think it's a gimmick, because you're like, okay, like kind of cool, like in your imagination of cycling, but like unnecessary, like very unnecessary. So just from a realistic practicality standpoint, so many problems are going to arise with a product like this. I just think just unnecessary for the price point, and from what you're actually doing. It's just something that no one's asking for. Like, I'm wondering also from a rigidity standpoint, like how strong is this? I would love to see stress tests on it. It's just super interesting. And when you bring in the fact that it has tech related, aspects to it, where it's like head units already have sometimes, problems. I've had times where my Garmin's froze for like 2 days. You have to wait for it to die, etc., etc. Like, just so many things that can go wrong with this. One thing too, if you travel a lot and this gets banged up in traveling, did you just lose 1,600 euros and then you can't even ride? That's the thing too. Like with a Garmin, like if my Garmin's not working, I can still ride my bike. If this isn't working, or got banged up structurally, like the screen got banged up, does that wreck the structure of the whole handlebar? I don't know. From an engineering perspective, it'd be very interesting to see, like, what's the rigidity aspect? Like, can you do a monster sprint on this? If you're gripping actually on, like, while climbing, like, does it space it out, or can you actually touch those parts? It says sweat resistant, it says water resistant, but like, if you know anything with Garmin head units, even, with all the stuff that's happened with cranks, just delamination, all that stuff, with obviously that's a mix of road surfaces, dirt, grit, sweat. It's like, what is the long term of this? And it being basically a very new product with no backing in terms of testing or long-term testing, would I suggest any viewer watching to be a guinea pig? I personally wouldn't suggest it, especially at that price point. It's cool. It's like a gimmick. Like, it is cool to see, but it makes absolutely no sense. So I don't know like who needs this much space to see where they're riding? I don't get it. I don't get it. Blood sugar, it's just so unnecessary. Like I really don't want to just bash creativity, but I just don't see the logic of this at all. At all. And it looks cool. Like one thing I back in the day, I used to be really into startups and seeing things on, Kickstarter, and seeing like the initial ideas and the initial concepts, and they look cool until you get to the actual manufacturing. And obviously I still think the website's put together in terms of like their goals and stuff, but it's one of those things where, yet again, you can sell the dream, you can sell the product or the illusion of the product, and then from a practicality standpoint, it's like so many things that can go wrong with this. So yeah, personally, another thing I was going to say that maybe I didn't, I'll just mention again, like the compatibility of this handlebar. Is it going to work with every bike? So then you have to double check. You might actually have to get a new bike if your bike is a little bit older and they're making it for a newer style of bikes. So usually it should obviously work with the majority of bikes. I'm just saying there is a chance maybe your bike, depending on what bike you're riding, is not 100% compatible for proprietary reasons. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how like the internal routing for this is. How does that work? Just the logistics of like your bike shop handling this, like taking it to another thing. I'm just thinking of everything that could possibly go wrong, where it's like bringing this to your local bike shop and they're like, what is this? I've never worked on this. They're trying to fish things through because it's all integrated. Do they mess up all the internal components of the device, of the head unit? And then what do you do from there? You got to send it back to HQ. Then can you ride? Do you have a replacement bar? Then you have to get that set up. Like it's cool in theory. I'll say this. It's cool in theory, and I don't want this video just to like be a long rant, but it's like, it's cool in theory. I think what no one's actually talked about is if you have a phone and you can get and put it on your stem and you have your head unit, that's way more than enough real estate. Because also, I'll make a joke too. It's very wide, right? And if you're riding, let's just talk, a spade's a spade. Unless you're watching a movie or some YouTube video, maybe I'm not even, that aware. You're watching this video right now on this handlebar in 2026, laughing at peddlers saying you thought it wasn't practical while I'm riding and watching your video. But what I'm trying to explain is that, you can literally do everything on your phone, right? So I just think personally, having a quad lock and being able to readjust the ratio, like you can literally do anything that you can do on the screen with a quad lock plus your Garmin. Because that's like, I would never use a phone as like a cycling computer. I'm not saying that here, but it's like, if you want this because you want to watch TikToks and ride at the same time, then sure. But yet again, you can do that on your phone and your head unit. I don't recommend that. No one take that as advice or to actually do it. I don't suggest that. It's not safe. But I'm just trying to explain, this is not solving anything that your phone that you already have that's expensive and the head unit that you most likely have if you're watching this video that they can't do. So to me, it makes absolutely no sense. I think maybe this would be cool, like if it was, for some type of expensive e-bike that they want to sell the dream to, sure. Maybe that's a different market where it's like all integrated and they can make it clean, and maybe that's the goal. Maybe that's the route for the startup, is like try to sell this to e-bike brands and get people that are jonesed up about e-bikes to buy this. But for the normal road cyclist, it makes absolutely no sense. I'm trying to think for myself, 1,600 euros. I have a 1030. I have an iPhone that's like large enough. If I wanted that on my bike, I'd be more than happy to have that. And I think the other big thing is like, I would not personally want that much real estate. Like you just don't want that much real estate. Like I'm looking at the screen, like that's way too much stuff. Like I don't need to see that much information to where it's like distracting. I don't need to see what song I'm playing. Like I have my playlist going. I don't care to see the album cover. I don't care to see the weather also. Like I can literally take out of my back pocket, check the widget and see the weather. Like I don't need that on my screen. Same with average speed too. Like all this is solved by my head unit. So I just think the thing that they're trying to solve is kind of like having all your data there. But the fact that it's really simple, especially if you have Di2, which a lot of riders have, to switch between, screens, you don't take your hands off the bars. So yet again, they're trying to solve for something that necessarily doesn't need solving. And it's more the allure of, wow, this is new, this is crazy, this is so different, rather than like, wow, we're solving something that's actually a problem. And it'd be very interesting if you actually went to a bunch of group rides and asked riders, like, not do you think it's cool? Do you objectively need this? The answer, or would you objectively buy this? I think most of them would say, hell no. It makes absolutely no sense. So I'll leave it there. I thought it was cool to show. Yet again, I have no ties to the company, but I saw this on Instagram. I saw it was going pretty viral, so I was like, I want to share my opinions. But basically, time will tell whether Peller missed the mark and this product is the revolutionary, and we look back at this and we go, damn, I was wrong. Or, they get funding for it, it doesn't reach the funding goals, or the people, like, most likely, hopefully it's not a disaster, like most of those, some Kickstarters where like a lot of money goes back into it and the company folds. But it'd be very interesting to see what comes. So I will, monitor this in the background. But yeah, I just think I start seeing this trend in the cycling industry where you're seeing things get created to solve problems for things that, yes, maybe if this works flawlessly, it's a little bit more efficient. But when you factor the price, the practicality standpoints, all the little things that are not sexy to promote. It's not sexy to promote that you're gonna have to bring this to your local bike shop mechanic to like when you need your brakes bled and he's struggling to not basically damage the computer inside. Like, that's not sexy to promote, right? It's all easy to promote the highlights, but the reality is not that sexy. So like, I saw this I actually saw this these promos while I was riding on the trainer. I was like, well, that's interesting, but thinking about them, just like so many things that just don't make sense. So, I haven't made a video like this in a long time, just like basically roasting something, because yet again, I want to be positive. I do like innovation, but damn, it's crazy how like they've made it this far in terms of the funding or thinking this was a good idea. So maybe I'm missing the mark on this whole thing, and you can leave in the comment section down below, like, am I objectively wrong? Am I missing something? Is there something just so evidently clear that I'm missing? If anyone is watching this video that might have been a handlebar potential customer, look at 4-time Tour de France champion Chris Froome giving the thumbs up on his quad lock, because he's like, I can watch TikToks, I can FaceTime the kids, I can answer emails, and I have my head unit out on top as well. So I can train, I can do the other stuff. Not the safest. I wouldn't recommend doing this, going downhill. But if you need to do it, you can do it. And I'll end it on this. Even quad lock, something that I think does solve a problem. Most people didn't even know. You can literally just take the back of your phone, get a sticky, it's like a sticky mount, right, from AliExpress for like $1. And you can turn that and just use it if you didn't want to use your head unit, which I did a lot of times for the indoor sessions. So the fact that there's solutions to these problems that are not costly, yet again, something I've always preached on my channel, but damn, super interesting to see. I never thought I would see the day of something that I think every cyclist has thought about, but we're like, nah, not practical. It's actually coming true. So I'm gonna keep an eye on Flight, this company, and we're going to see over the next couple of months, maybe even year, 2026, what happens, what comes of it. Was I wrong? And we'll leave it there. I'm done with this roast. It was more than enough. And if you guys did enjoy this tech video, then drop a like, smash the subscribe button. I will be doing more of these. Anything that catches my eye, we got the rhythm going. I want to make more content. So I thought I would share my thoughts. I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comment section. And until the next one, keep on pedaling. Wow, I guess you see something new every day.